Welcome to Wiz TV. Today I'll be talking about ADHD, ADD. There are hundreds of psychological disorders that affect our communities, our families, and the world in general. However, some are easier to diagnose than others and require extensive research in order to evaluate the situation. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or more commonly known as ADHD, is a comprehensive disorder that leads to different behaviors among children and adults, including hyperactivity, difficulty holding attention, as well as impulsive actions. There are three types of ADHD, one of them being predominantly inattentive type, more commonly known to the general public as attention deficit disorder or ADD. The predominantly inattentive type is characterized by symptoms such as distractiveness, constant daydreaming and forgetfulness, or difficulty completing a task. There is also predominantly hyperactive impulsive type. The hyperactive impulsive type is characterized by symptoms such as hyperactivity, destructive behaviors, and chronic or exaggerated impatience. Combined type is the third. The combined type is characterized by symptoms that are a combination of the previous two types. There is no absolute cure for ADHD. However, ADHD symptoms can be greatly reduced by carrying out different treatments based upon the different signs and symptoms that a person is exhibiting. Most people are diagnosed with ADHD as early as 2 or 3 years of age, and it continues into adulthood. While most people are able to focus on the disorder better as they get older, it can be a struggle throughout a person's entire life. Many of the symptoms worsen when there is additional mental effort required to complete a task. Although there are numerous ways to treat ADHD, medication seems to be the most common one used. For instance, Vyvanse is a prescription medicine that is used to treat patients ages 6 years and older. From the information pertaining to the use of this stimulant, it can cause heart problems, slow down the growth pertaining to height and weight of children, and can also cause circulation problems in the fingers and toes. There are other side effects such as anxiety, diarrhea, trouble sleeping, vomiting, as well as loss of appetite. The core symptoms of ADHD include inattentiveness, impulsiveness, and hyperactivity. ADHD is a condition that can affect you 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Your ADHD symptoms may look and feel different than they did when you were a child. ADHD is known to be a chronic condition that often follows people from childhood to adulthood. Up to 60% of children and adolescents with ADHD continue to have symptoms as adults. Approximately 4.4% of the adult population in the United States has ADHD. That's about 8 million adults. ADHD can cause impairment in all areas of life. You may be just realizing that some of the things you have struggled with most of your life are actually symptoms of this condition. While no two people have exactly the same experience with ADHD, there are many common symptoms that may sound familiar to you. One could be inattentiveness, failure to pay attention to details or making careless mistakes, unable to keep attention on a task, difficulty listening when spoken to directly, inability to finish tasks or follow instructions, trouble organizing activities, avoidance of things that require long periods of mental effort, losing things you need, being easily distracted, forgetting things in daily activities, and some hyperactivity could be fidgeting with hands and feet, unable to remain seated when it is expected, feeling restless, difficulty with leisure activities, feeling on the go as if driven by a motor, talking excessively. And the third, impulsiveness, can be blurting out answers before the question is finished, unable to wait your turn, interrupting other people's conversation. ADHD is a neurological condition which, according to estimates by the National Institute of Mental Health, affects between 3 and 5% of all children. While ADD may be the most widely known and common term for this type of ADHD, the official medical name is ADHD. Predominantly inattentive ADD causes a variety of problems, usually relating to the ability to concentrate. Both attention deficit disorder and attention hyperactivity disorder are conditions that tend to be the center of many discussions these days. Many people do understand the basic components that signify the conditions. However, they do not realize that ADD and ADHD are different. While they do share some similarities, understanding the difference between them is very important. ADD is difficult to distinguish from ADHD because it generally has the same meaning as one type of ADHD, being inattentive type. Essentially, both of these conditions refer to struggles with paying attention or remaining focused. But the causes, manifestations, and signs can all be different. Some will even say that one term is for children and one is for adults, but this is inaccurate. Discussing the similarities of these two terms is extremely difficult because ADD is not a term that is used in the medical field anymore. ADHD is the proper term, but even that has its flaws. Instead of simply saying that a person has ADHD, three different types have been identified, with ADHD being an attentive type is often the one type that is confused with ADD. Individuals with ADHD and attentive type, as the name implies, have difficulty focusing on tasks and staying concentrated on one thing. ADHD is a comprehensive disorder that leads to different behaviors among children and adults, including hyperactivity, difficulty holding attention, as well as impulsive actions. While it originally stood for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, many doctors have chosen to redefine it slightly because it is more than just attention deficit and hyperactivity. Thank you for tuning in to Wiz TV. Please press like and subscribe and leave a comment. Have a great day.